What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're taking a look at this awesome new piece of news. We have another OCG 2020 structure deck voting contest, which is so clean. We got one last year. I think it was a big hit. I think it was a great way for players to feel like they actually had a voice, and at least it felt like Konami was going off what they thought we wanted. It was actually what people voted for what they wanted, and then we ended up getting structure decks based off of it. So this time, it's not 20 archetypes, because I feel like 20 was probably a little bit too much. It's only 10 this time, but still, we'll take that, and we get a little more transparency here as well. So, this year, another structure deck theme voting project will be held. This time, in addition to the first theme among the 10 chosen, we will also make the second theme. Voting begins from 5 p.m. on the card database, June 19th, 5 p.m. JST to June 25th, 11:59. So it'll be about a week-ish again, but we'll have our official announcement, I believe, June 30th. Yeah, official announcement will be June 30th at 9 p.m., which is really cool. So, real quick, one thing that's interesting to note here, it says officially the top 2 structure decks are guaranteed structure decks. That's one thing they didn't even say the last time, and look at this, we actually ended up getting all 3 of the top 3 places their own structure decks. So that's really cool, especially since they're telling us now, which means if you have one here that you particularly like, it doesn't have to get first. It can get first or second, which is a little more doable, right? So it gives you a little more extra hope there. So without further ado, let's take a look into the archetypes here. We're starting off with Karibo, classic monster, has a bunch of like random cards. They don't do a ton, but definitely an archetype that would need some help. Cyber Style, this is a really interesting one because I've seen people like trying to figure out what exactly this is. I know one thing that people have been saying so far is that Cyber Style is like technically what they called Zane's deck in the anime. They called it like Cyber Style. I don't know if that will particularly mean Cyber Dragon or Cyber Dark, because he does have a season where he plays like just Cyber Dark. I have no idea. I don't know if it's something else. This one's a little bit up in the air until we get like a little more information on that to actually know like what exactly it is. Morphtronics is a weird one, played by Leo in 5D, so an interesting archetype. Very few people like it, I believe, though. They need a lot of help. Star Seraphs, they have like the powerful stick and chair combo in Heralds, but other than that, I don't really know much what else they do, so that's an interesting one. Super Heavy Samurai, this one has its niche fan base as well. I don't even think we have the Link 1 yet, so maybe if we got a structure like that'd be where they implemented the Link 1. But it's fine. It's a cool like machine archetype that like battles from defense position. It's interesting. Trickstars. Now this one is like one of the weird ones to me, because this is like the newest deck on here, I would say. And also, other than I don't even think Cyber Dragons have ever been like tier 1 unless you argue like Cyber Dragon Orcus. Other than that, like Trickstar is like the only archetype here that's ever actually been like really competitively relevant, and this was in like the last 2 to 3 years, so that's kind of weird to me. Like, what if we got like an entire structure and it just made Trickstars good again? Like, people would still complain about like, not still as much, but like, you know what I mean, like Reincarnation Droll like is a problem. So weird one for me, but okay. Ice Barriers is another one. This is like an interesting archetype because like its extra deck monsters are actually insanely powerful, but its main deck stuff is like really not that good. So we need a ton of help in the main deck to actually like make an engine that gets to those good extra deck monsters. But that's an interesting one. Always had cool designs, but I don't think they just ever really translated enough. Gusto. This is an interesting one because they have like a lot of cards that miss timing, I believe. A lot of when effects, not if. But they're still pretty interesting. They have a ton of floating effects, a ton of just special summon from deck effects. They look cool. They're wind. This one could be like a sleeper pick for sure. I think this is an interesting one. Tour Guide. This one is like one of the most interesting ones because out of all of them, I would say all these are archetypes except for maybe Tour Guide. Like you have Tour Guide of the Underworld. What is it? Tour Bus of the Underworld and Beat Cop, and like that's it. Those are the only like tour guide cards, I believe. There might be 1 or 2 others, but it's like not a real archetype, like fleshed out archetype. So I'm really curious what they would do here, and I think Tour Guide is such a fan. Like a ton of people love Tour Guide, and if you're a fan, this one encapsulates like any BA fan is probably voting for Tour Guide. another one, that's one of the things, is that this could just be like BA support, as well as it could just be like Lair of Darkness support. That's another archetype that's pretty based around just level 3 Dark Fiends, and so Tour Guide could like make that happen as well. So pretty cool there. I'm really curious to see what Tour Guide has to show us. And then another one that is very interesting to me, at least, is Kaijus. Now this one I'm really curious to see what they would do, because Kaijus, as we've always seen, it's never really been a deck. It's never really been able to function fully as a deck, at least on like a really truly competitive scene. It's more so just like a package, or just like a cluster of cards you play main or side, particularly for going second, given the specific like meta, right? I'd be so curious if they were actually able to make this a deck that does stuff, gets to actual board setups and like counters. Like what if you literally just had a normal summon that was like Stratos, like search any Kaiju or like Kaiju card, and you could like get the field spell, do some link stuff, field spell, add Gameciel, and as long as you can get Gameciel out, he's got 3+ negates, like, and then actually you're sitting there like, whoa, scary, because like that's what's so scary, is that like we've never really seen it be able to put too well into action, other than what maybe like Crusadia / like World Chalice builds, being able to make use of the field spell and Gameciel for like the negate effects. But like just one Gameciel can actually be like so terrifying for a board, because it's like negate and destroy, and it's like not once per turn, and you just like end up getting more and more counters as the turn goes on, and it feels infinite. So pretty scary there, but I'm curious what they would even be able to do with Kaijus, what they would aim for. Maybe they would just make more versatility to the Kaijus. I would like to see them actually make it into an archetype that could actually function, do some things by itself, and not just as like a small package, you know? So I think that would be really, really cool. But those are our 10 archetypes here. I guess... Okay, so what my expectations for this? My expectations are that if Cyber Style means Cyber Dragon, it's probably just going to win. It's probably going to get first place, and nothing else is even going to be close, unless like Tour Guide is close. I think like for me, if I were to give you a top 3, I would say Cyber Style and Tour Guide are probably top 2. I think like people who are looking at this competitively may be excited for Kaijus, Trickstars, yeah, like those. And then I think like also like Karibo always has a chance, just because it is like, it's that spirit that literally would show up and save the main character from like beating themselves like every time for like the first 2 series of the anime. So Karibo, just with like that anime power, could have a lot of fans there. I wouldn't be surprised if Karibo shows up. The other ones, maybe there's some sleepers. I think Ice Barrier and Gusto are still like sleepers. I don't really see Super Heavy Samurai, Star Seraph, Morphtronic really doing that much. I think those are the 3 I would say. I feel pretty safe in saying they won't place too crazy high. So yeah, those were probably my expectations. If you want my personal picks, okay? And I'm just giving you 2 because that's all that's going to win. If I were going to give you 2 personal picks, I want Tour Guide and I want Kaijus, because I love Lair of Darkness, I love Burning Abyss. So right there is already like a great reason for me to just want Tour Guide, just because of the synergy there. And then Kaijus, just like I said before, I'm so curious to see if they could actually take Kaiju and make it into a deck that does stuff. It's not just a summon one Kaiju to your opponent's field, summon one to your field, and play beatdown. Like, that's just not good. Like, you don't, that's not what we want there. But I'd be really curious to see what they could do with that. And anything else I'd be fine with. Honestly, like Cyber Style. If it's Cyber Dragon or Cyber Dark, I'd still be into it. I just think it's like going to win so easily that it makes the vote like not as interesting if it is those. Ice Bear and Gusto I think would be interesting if they could actually make them like actually be able to play in 2020. That would be interesting. Trickstar has already had its time, not really interested in that. Star Seraph, Super Heavy Samurai, and Morphtronic and Karibo, just not interested. Personally, I'm just not that interested in those. But yeah, so that's what I would personally want. That's what I'm personally expecting. As far as the OCG and when these will come out, the theme that gets first place will go on sale November 11th. And at least in the OCG, so we'll get it even later than that. But the second theme will go on sale in 2021. We don't have an official date, but it will be in 2021. So nothing too crazy there. I think this is really, really cool that they're doing this again. And I hope this becomes a regular thing, because why not? This is a great way for Konami to not just, try and analyze what they think we want, but just straight up ask us. You guys vote. We'll just straight up make whatever you guys decide you want. And I think that's great. I think that's great for a company like this to do. So guys, that's going to do it for me here on the Structure Deck Vote News. Oh, also, I guess one more thing is that, like, you can go to their website to vote. It's a little bit tough if you don't live in like Japanese areas, because I believe you have to have an account for their website. You have to, like, change the local, like, whatever, for the website from, like, Japanese to English, and then you might have to, like, change your date and time settings or something. It's like something weird. You have to do a bunch of stuff. I don't even know. I'm sure there's other information out there on that. I just don't have it on me at the moment. So whatever. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, definitely, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and leave me your thoughts down below. What do you want to see here? What do you want to get first place? What do you, either first or second? If you can pick your top two, what are they? I'm curious to see what you guys want, not just me. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good one. Peace.